Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? It's Friday. TGIF, guys. TGIF. It's been a week. It's definitely been a week. I figured I'd come on tonight and just kind of hang out with you guys. I don't have anything specific planned. Obviously, we have the stories that we talked about this week. And I do have a project that I want to tell you guys about that I'm working on. It's a Linux project, and I just got the hardware in to do it. So I'm going to get into that with you today, too. Some behind the scenes type of stuff, what's coming. I'm really excited about it, actually. So we'll get into some of that. But before we get into anything, I want to say hello to everyone, because if Fabiola was sitting next to me, she probably would have kicked me already for not saying hello to everybody. So let's see who's here. Grace is here. Thank you, Grace. Thank you for being here. Let's see. The real Mo is in the house. Thank you, Mo. Thank you for everything that you do. Ricky Joe's in the house. We got Dominic is here. Speed Racer. William. How you doing, William? No one is here. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. No one. How are you doing tonight? Let's see. Whipped Puppy. Poor guy. I love it. Brett Spicer in the house. How are you doing, my friend? Let's see. Who else do we got here? Shannon is here. Extremely exhausted. He's been working a lot. I feel bad for Shannon. He's got a lot on his plate. He's been doing a lot and getting a lot done. So if he's not around for very long, I completely understand. So let me see here. Who else is here? Patris. Michael is in the house. Who else? Williams, Welch, thank you for being here. So this is the Friday night, the Free Speech Friday, when we can kind of just like hang out, talk about whatever. We don't have Fabiola, so you have to look at my ugly face instead of her beautiful face. I'm sorry about that, but it kind of is what it is. I'm going to sip on a little bit. Normally I have tea. Tonight, instead of having tea, I have some of made a latte. It's kind of cool. This is my birthday weekend, guys, so I have family over. So I'm probably not going to stay on for a very long time, but I'll do probably the normal hour or so. Maybe we won't get into an hour and a half, but you know, I always say that, and then I just go running on and on and on and on, kind of like the Ever Ready Bunny, you know, remember that? Doom, doom, doom. That's what I feel like sometimes. So if you guys have any questions, listen, put in at JCristina. I see Ricky Joe just threw something in there. It pops up on my side in orange, so it's really easy for me to see. Also, I want to ask that if you have any links to anything that you want me to take a look at on air, put the links in the chat. If for some reason the link is you can't put it there because it doesn't work, like wherever there's a dot in the link, just write like quote dot end quote or something. So this way YouTube doesn't know that it's a link. Send me over whatever you want me to take a look at, because I've been getting a lot of like cool stuff people have been sending lately, which is a lot of fun. I love to see it. I'm going to take a look at X, see what's going on over there at X with SpaceX and Starlink and Elon and all the rest of it. See what's new over there. Michael, thank you very much for the happy birthday. And Honey Badger, appreciate that. Yep. Birthday is tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. I'll be old. I'll be like 26 or something. Yeah, right. My oldest daughter is older than 26. So yeah, there's a lot going on. And before, once again, that I get into all of it, I just want to tell you guys what the videos that I did this week were. Number one, I did a video about Elon Musk versus Apple, the AI lawsuit. Is Tesla phone imminent? I did this video because so many of you guys have been giving me just so countless URLs to all of these Tesla phone fake videos on YouTube. And the problem with YouTube right now is there's a lot of AI rendered crap, garbage, bullshit, where it's a faceless channel. The audio is fake. The video is fake. And that's how they build the entire channel like that. I showed Shannon the other day I think it was a short. And the short was completely fake. It wasn't real. But if you weren't into Starship, you would, or Starlink or whatever it was, you wouldn't know that it was fake. It looked that good. And the damn thing had like 300,000 views or something. And it was complete bullshit. So just be very leery about these channels without like actually a person on the other side, because chances are the majority of it is just nonsense. Anyways, I digress as I always do. The video that I did about the Tesla phone being imminent was basically to say that as of right now, there is no Tesla phone, there is no Pi phone. Elon Musk hasn't made a phone, but it might be coming. And the reason it might be coming is because he has filed a lawsuit. X and XAI has filed a lawsuit against Apple for basically unfair trade practices. They are not letting Elon Musk's X into like the big boy pond or pool, right? And he's kind of pissed about it. And I don't blame him. We were live, and I think Fabiola was next to me. And if you guys remember, some of you do, I asked you guys, I said, does anyone else get this? Where you ask Siri a question, and she's dumb as shit anyways, right? You ask Siri a question, and she's like, well, would you like me to use ChatGPT for that question or for that answer? And if you say yes, it automatically goes to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT answers your question. I'm like, what the hell is that? How about if I don't want to use ChatGPT? How about if I want to use Grok? How about if I want to use Perplexity? How about if I want to use Gemini? How about if I, whatever. I don't want to use ChatGPT. Let's just say. ChatGPT is great, okay? It's good for certain things it's not. I like Grok personally. They have problems too. Matter of fact, I wrote a note to Elon just the other day, not that he reads it or anything, about Grok and how I really am not happy with you only have so many questions and then it just cuts you off. The entire conversation is just stifled, is dead, right? Until 6 hours goes by or whatever the time frame is. I don't like that. ChatGPT does it different. When you ask too many questions, it says, okay, well, all of your, let's say, ChatGPT version 5 or version 4, all those questions are done. We're going to move you down to 3 now, all right? But we're going to continue the conversation. It's not going to be as good, but they don't just cut you off. And that's something that they should think about doing, because it feels a little ick, Elon. It feels ick, all right? Don't do that. All right, there's a way to do it nicely, and that's just not a nice way to do it. Just chopping a conversation mid-conversation and telling them to go and upgrade for $30. It's just, it's not about the money. It's just what it feels and looks like. Anyways, so that was one. And if you want to talk about that, once again, put that at JCristina. I also did one about how to get the 1 month free. There's 2 ways. One, you could use my link, JCristina.com/Starlink, right? JCristina.com/Starlink, or what Elon Musk's SpaceX is doing, Starlink is doing, is they are giving you 1 month free if you take your dish out of hiding. If you put it onto pause, used to be pause, now it's standby mode, or if you just have it collecting dust, if you turn it back on, they give you a month free. Test it out, see what you think, because they've done a lot, and the speeds are much better. I mean, the speeds are pretty much insane right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a speed test in just a second. The other video that I just did, I think it was yesterday or today, was OpenAI triggers Nvidia's GPU price drop. Elon Musk XAI wins big. And that has all to do with how Sam Altman over there at OpenAI or ChatGPT is, instead of buying Nvidia cards going forward for their cluster, for their farm, what they're going to be doing is they're going to make their own custom proprietary silicon with Broadcom. If you guys don't know it, Broadcom stock is doing this, like this, like this. That's why, guys. That's why. That's a massive order. That's a sick order. Billions. I think it was like 10 billion. Something stupid. All right? It's a very, very big deal. And if that happens, Elon Musk is going to, if he wants, buy all of those Nvidia cards that normally would go over there to Altman. So it's kind of interesting. Will Elon do something similar and make his own chips? And I talk about that in today's video, so check that out. In the meantime, let's do a speed test, and then I'm going to get into some questions, right? Let's go ahead and do a speed test, because I've been doing this lately. People like when I do it. I'm going to do it. So, as you can see, let me see. Does it look? I guess it's okay. All right, here we go. So we're on SpaceX Starlink right now. Okay, let's see what we get. I see we got a 31 millisecond ping. All right, 31 milliseconds, not great. I want to see in the 20s. Sub 20 would be good. The fastest I've seen for latency was about 14.3 milliseconds. So there we go. Look at that speed. Holy shit, guys. That was 310 megabits down. 310. Is that right? It is right. Holy God. I'm reading it reverse on the screen. Let's see what the upload is. Look at that upload, guys. 27. Look at that. 27.4 megabits up, 310 megabits down, and we're sitting at, what are we at? 31, 32, yeah, 31 milliseconds. Those are some crazy numbers. And I do this live so people don't say, oh, you know, it's bullshit. You're not getting those speeds really. No, I am. There you go. I'm getting these speeds, and you probably are too. And if you're not, there might be some other issues you might want to look into. We could talk about those issues too. But there you go, 310 down. You gotta love that. So let's get in here and see what the heck is going on. Once again, Shannon is a little bit sleepy. Thanks for all the happy birthdays, all the birthday wishes. I appreciate those. Those are just awesome. Ricky Joe says, what do you think of my Starlink speeds now that I'm with the new Ethernet cable? Ricky Joe sent me over some speed tests, and there was a replacement done to the cable. And when that cable was replaced, these speeds are much faster. So yeah, it's a thing. I've been talking about cables for a long time, and I've been telling people that, you know, if you're going to, let's say, try to fix your cable because there's something wrong with it, that's fine. But just bear in mind that if you don't know what you're doing, you might make things worse. You might end up with CRC errors. You might actually slow things down. So that's not a good thing. We don't want to see that happen. Let's see, what else we got? Let's see, who else do we got going on here? Let's see, Matthew says, wanted to comment, I had an OG circle. Oh, yeah, Starlink dish, and I want to upgrade. I created a support ticket, and they sent me a free new kit. It was crazy nice. That is cool. So you were around, Matthew, at the same time I was. So the round dish was like the Gen 1s. That was like in the beta times. When beta was over is when they started with the rectangular dish. Some of the people that are on the channel, they're new here and they don't know this. But the round dish, the original one, most of those people were beta testers. Anyways, that is so cool that they recognized that you were here since the beginning and they just sent you a free kit. What company does that? You know, everyone always bitches about Elon and, you know, he's trying to get rich off the backs of the rural people and all this other bullshit. It's like, not really. Not really. You know where he's getting rich? He's getting rich on the government. He's getting rich on these large corporate entities. He's getting rich on the cruise liners. He's getting rich on the air, all of the aviation. He's getting rich on all of that. On the people, he makes a lot of money because it's $120 a month, which isn't cheap. But we see that those numbers are starting to come down. So you don't even have to have a $120 a month fee anymore. You can get like an $80 if you want. And instead of getting that 310 that I just got speed, you might get 150 down, 200 down, 170. Does it matter to you? If you don't know, then it probably doesn't matter. If you know that you need more, then it probably definitely matters. So anyways, Mo says, my birthday month, I'm on the 25th too. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mo, coming up. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Gala Girl, did Fabiola Heel get your right arm again? Yeah, it looks like that, right? No, I don't know. I think it was in the gym or something, and something like scraped me, and now it's like, I don't know, I'm like jacked, but geez, it'll go away. I don't know. But yeah, no, it wasn't her. She probably should smack me with a heel every once in a while. William says, any word on the reactivation fees for Starlink for people who chose not to get standby? That's a good question. I don't think that there's a reactivation fee. I really don't. I think what they do is they just, when you want to activate it, you activate it. So if you don't want to go on standby and you just want it to be shut off, they'll shut it off. I think the way they scare people into staying with the standby for $5, whatever it is, per month, is by saying, listen, when you try to reactivate, if your area is an area of congestion, you're going to have to pay a congestion fee. Or if you're in an area that has a waiting list, you're going to have to go on the waiting list and stuff like that. But listen, guys, you're not going to have to worry about that. The Gen 3s are going to be up there probably, within 6 months. At that time, all of this was going to go away. There's not going to be any congestion fees. There's not going to be, the pricing is going to go down. The speeds are going to go up. The latency is going to go down. That's just the way it is. So we are here at a really good moment in time. I mean, shit, when I came on board, there was 112,000 of us. Now there's like 6-7 million or something. It's a lot more people. So I went through some pretty bad times. When I first started, I was getting like 300 plus down and like 30, 40 megabits up because there's no one on it, right? But it started getting very, very congested. A ton of people started just piling in, dogpiling it, and the speeds just got slower and slower and slower until there was a time where I was barely getting 100 megabits down, and I was getting about anywhere from 9 to about 13 megabits up. But look, 100 megabits down, guys, 100 megabits down. With my AT&T garbage, I was getting 15 megabits down, maximum. So I was like, 6-7 times faster or more. So who cares at that point? Now we're sitting at 310, which is insanity, guys. Absolutely insane. That is amazing to me. Let me see. I love the bananas. Thank you for all those bananas. And the purple hair, old man day. I love it. Yes. I don't know. My hair isn't turning purple yet. Maybe I have a few grays like here and there, but I don't know. It's not turning gray yet. Maybe because Fabiola's good to me, doesn't give me too much shit, so I'm not turning gray yet. I don't know. Michael says I got kids older than you. It's possible, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Get a Tesla phone. Yeah. If I can get a Tesla phone, I would definitely get 3, but they don't exist. There's no Pi phone, there's no Tesla phone, and there's not going to be one until at least March of 2026 when the lawsuit goes through with Apple. If Apple wins and they are allowed to not only recommend but force us to use ChatGPT on our phones instead of Siri, and don't give us the option to use something else, Perplexity, using Grok, or use something else. Obviously, Elon Musk would want you to use Grok. I think then, and only then, he would consider making a phone. Because in all of the interviews I've ever heard from Elon has said, listen, I will make a phone if I absolutely have to. But the thought of making a phone kind of makes him cringe. He doesn't want to do that. He continues to state that he has got bigger fish to fry. And yeah, if you want to get to Mars, that's definitely a bigger fish to fry, for sure. Shannon, happy birthday, Shannon. Did you put my birthday year in there? 1969? Yes, guys, I'm old. I was born the year that we landed on the moon, right? No, 72. But anyways, yeah, 69. So yeah, thank you for that, Shannon. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's go back up here. I don't want to miss any questions. Okay, I'm going to try to not miss any questions. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Kids older. Okay. Chicken pen needs help. I bet. Yes, the chicken pen can use help. Kevin O'Leary. Huh. Without mentioning the lottery. Yeah. Let's see. These channels came up with Tesla TV, Tesla tablet, fake videos. Yeah, that's the problem. There's a lot of these fake videos out there now, all over. YouTube does an absolute horrific job at moderating these horrible videos that are complete BS. So they are allowing it to happen, and the reason being is people watch them. And they don't really care if the stuff is true or not true, or if it's real or not real, or if it's produced with AI or not. As long as they're getting their ad revenue, they don't give a shit. They could care less. That's the problem. You know, YouTube is Google. Google is Alphabet. Alphabet is like $1 trillion company. Do they really care? No, not really. Not really. They say they do, of course. But do they? George says, always make sure the car is there when entering the elevator. Yeah, that would be nice, right? Save myself those behind me. My helper also had it happen to them. Really? 30 stories up. Holy crap. Could you imagine? Door open and you just like walk out to nowhere to your demise? Holy jeez. Yeah, it would be, that's probably a good idea. Make sure the car's there. Craig says Tesla robot taxi app is available to all download. Hopefully will roll out in Arizona soon. Preliminary application is placed in Arizona government. Yeah, Craig, that's pretty cool. I don't think we have the RoboCap yet down here in Palm Beach. I'm going to have to look into this whole thing because it might be kind of cool to take a look at, to take a ride, right? And just let the car take me. Just hope for the best. Pray the entire way. I don't know. Gallagher says, I thought I said make sure the cat is there. yeah, not the cat. Fab report back kick. Yes, my link going down. Let me see here. Optimum, Silicon Swatch, Doge chips. Chips and salsa. 310. Can you imagine that though? William, 310. I just got 310 down. 310 download. 27 upload. Sweet. Can't beat it. I mean, there's people getting faster, but that's still pretty damn good. William's getting 238 megabits down and 43 megabits up. 18, I'm guessing that's your milliseconds. That's mega fast. That is great. Absolutely love that. Ricky Joe says, remember when I showed you an Ant's direct? Yeah, I do remember that direct speed over 400. Yes, down. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, there are some people getting. I have a very close friend to the show. Great guy. I've seen some 400 megabits from him. I think I might even seen a 500, and that's in the middle of the ocean. Pretty cool, right? Or docked, like in Bimini or Bahamas or wherever. So yeah. That's the one thing that's really cool that people don't realize is if you are on the coast somewhere and you have your Starlink and you're pointing it over the ocean, you're catching satellites that are not being used, or very few people are using them. So you get like full throughput. Whatever it gives you is what it can give you. It's not congested at all, which is really pretty cool. Same thing as if you're in the ocean and you hook up on one of those satellites. You just got full throttle. Whatever you can get, you can get. Pretty cool. Let's see. Moving on here. Let's see. Gallagher. That's from George. Ricky Joe says, you know what's funny? I've seen the article. Someone actually tried to compare Starlink to Viasat. What the frick? Yeah. Viasat and HughesNet, right? How are you going to compare? It's like you have a geo satellite compared to LEO satellites. Speeds are like not even close. The latency is just insanity. You know, Viasat and HughesNet, the latency is like 700 milliseconds, 800 milliseconds, over 1,000 milliseconds sometimes, compared to 20 milliseconds, 30 milliseconds. There's no comparison. It's like a joke. Let me see here. Let me see. Moving down. Holy hell, Shannon with 50. 50 gifted memberships, guys. Oh, that is a ton. If you got a free membership tonight, all right? It's an intimate crowd tonight. There's like, what, 50 people here or so? Not that many people today, which is okay. That's all right. We have like a kind of a close-knit family tonight. That is amazing. So if you got a free membership from Shannon, please say thank you. He supports the channel all the time. I really do appreciate everything he does. And I know he should be probably sleeping right now instead of hanging out with us. So thank you very much, Shannon. Really appreciate that. Let me see. Share your speeds, people. Share your speeds. I love to read them. William says, our local ISP is now 150 down and 20 up. Not bad. Not bad for a local ISP. Some of them are just slow as hell, but that's not too bad. Dark fiber. Yeah, there's a lot of dark fiber out there. It turned on about 10 years ago for me. That's not bad. That's not bad. Are you streaming on the same connection as you ran? Yes. So technically, yes. At the moment of testing the speeds, I don't know. What does that mean? I have SpaceX Starlink fiber as well as T-Mobile, all going into this is for Tommy's. Is it Tommy's question? Yeah, Tommy McNeely. I have all three networks, all three ISPs going into a Raspberry Pi that I custom made to be a failover, fallover, fallback router, gigabit router. And this is what I used because I'm a dork, all right? I'm a nerd, and this works. So at that moment when I tested it, it could have been on a combination, right, of connections, right? Because, and I shouldn't say a combination of connections, it could have been only SpaceX Starlink and Starlink not being used for the stream. Or if I'm streaming and the fiber goes in and out a little bit, the Starlink and the T-Mobile will pick up the difference, right? It fails over and falls back. So seeing speeds of 310, that means that Starlink was not being used. Starlink was pretty much idle at that point, and it was probably just using the fiber. But like I said, I have three ISPs, and I do that for the redundancy. I don't have to worry about something going down. Here in South Florida, if we get some bad weather that takes everything down, and I have to be like really, kind of conscious about it. I have to really think about it and say, listen, well, how many ISPs do I need? And for me, 3 is the number. So that's what I have. But it's overkill. You don't need to have that many. You know what? Let's do it one more time, guys. So there you go, right? We got the 310 by 27. 310 by 27. Excuse me. Let's give it another shot, right? Let's close that. And here we go. Let's see what we get this time. I know. There was a guy that wrote to me in the comment area on the channel that said, hey, the speeds you're getting are fake. You're not really getting those speeds. I'm only getting 100 meg. How are you getting 300? I'm like, it really depends on what's overhead. If you have a version 1 satellite overhead, you're going to have a lot slower speeds than if you have a version 1.5 or if you have a version 2.0 mini. Like this right here, what do we get? 186. That's not 310. But once again, it has to do with the satellite that's overhead. I got 17.9 up, and I have a 32 millisecond ping latency. So obviously that's not as good as the 310 that we just got. So chances are the 310 was once again on a version 2 mini that was overhead. Gallagher, all the little times at the stopwatch. Love all the poop emojis. Jeffrey says Starship is so reliable. Now, Let's see, up to re-entry, yes, for Starship. I think should start popping out the Starlink version 3s on the future test. Yeah, so Jeffrey, this is for Jeffrey Hall. Remember, when they actually start launching out through the PEZ dispenser, they need to be at a certain altitude to do that. And then once they launch them, those satellites then push themselves up to operational altitude. The operational altitude currently is like 530 kilometers, but the version 3s are, I think, going to be sitting at about 330 kilometers, about 200 kilometers closer to Earth. So can they technically start popping those things out? Maybe take the ship a little bit higher? Yeah, they could. But I don't think they're going to do it until they test this bay at least 2-3 more times and see that everything is working perfectly. I noticed when they were actually launching them, there was a little vibration going on, a little jumping around. They need to dial it in a little bit. They need to make sure those things are coming out perfectly flat, no jiggling, no bouncing, maybe shim it up a little bit, whatever they need to do. There's going to be, they got so much data this time because the damn thing didn't blow up, right? Which is extremely helpful. So yeah, I would love to see the version 3s, but they're not going to happen until next year. I can just guarantee you. I would say first quarter of next year, we'll see the version 3 satellites up there. Hopefully that happens. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's switch over to this screen. Yeah, that's cool. So this is X page. Let me go over to let's see. Let's go to Starlink. See what's going on over there real quick. Look at that. You gotta love it. Standard kit. Instead of $349, you could get it today for $175. And then the mini is $499. $499, not bad. Starlink is connecting more than 7 million people with reliable high-speed internet across 150 countries, territories, and many other markets. Thank you to all of our customers around the world. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? 7 million, guys. 7 million. I think 2 million of that 7 million is just in the US alone. Let's see what else they got here. High-speed internet enables video calls, gaming, streaming, and much more for the most remote locations. Absolutely. Look at these speeds. Sitting out in the middle of nowhere. 235 down by 26 up. Gotta love that. Gotta love it. All right, I'll just leave that up just for a minute. Just leave that there for right now. Let's see. George says, do you still have a USNet account? I do not. I think I do, unless it went down. I don't. Let's see. Which is Usenet. I get it. Yeah. That's like AOL. I think AOL stopped all modem, all traditional modem, just like last month or something. It's crazy. Low Tech Greg, thank you for being here. 203 down by, let's see, 27 up with 22 milliseconds. I love that speed. Renee, my Starlink just received an update. 33 megabits down, 23 up. What the hell is going on? Before the update, it was 100. Okay. Renee, reboot. Something's wrong. if you were getting 280 megabits down and now you're getting 33 megabits down, it's a problem. All right? Relax, reboot, let it come back up online, and see what's going on, because that's not right. That's not right. Taylor Wood says getting 142 down and 12.6 up. 142 is not bad. The 12.6 is a little bit slow, but it is what it is. Where I live, there was very limited. Yeah, same over here. On these 5 acres, we had nothing when it comes to ISPs. So Starlink is about the only high-speed option. Fixed wireless, yeah, fixed wireless is always a problem. It's really the only other option. Not complaining. Yes. I personally like my T-Mobile. T-Mobile does a pretty damn good job where I am, so we have the T-Mobile set up over there too. I got 300 with the Circle Dish. Yes. Yeah, back in the day, I remember the Circle Dish. We were getting some pretty damn fast speeds. I think my fastest speed at the very beginning when I first started 50 some months ago, I think it was like 340 something, 342, I think, somewhere around there, by like 45 or 47 megabits up. That speed of the megabits up was quite amazing to see that. Considering before I was getting 1.5 megabits up. 1.5. I was actually able to upload HD video, not even have to worry about it. It just would get there. I mean, how everything has changed. George says, let's see. Oh, no, that's William. Hold on, we got to them. Let's see. If you have a question, put in at JCristina so it pops up. Shannon says, with the super chat, and almost forgot, official purple hair. Fire that shit up. Yes, we need to do that. I'm going to fire it up. Super chat. P.S. $5 says, he talks for 90 minutes or more. He can't help himself. Who are you talking about? All right, let me see. Oh, look at this. Hold on. Remember I told you I was going to tell you about something? This just got here, guys. There's only 50 or so of you guys. So this is like super secret G14 classified shit right here. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is an HP. This is like a little mini PC. It's running Windows 11. How long do you think Windows 11 will be on here? I haven't booted into it yet. I just got it. Windows 11 will never boot. It will be formatted, and Linux Mint will be on here. And I'll tell you what its purpose will be in just a second. So we're going to have to fire this up. Now, I don't know. We've been getting like some very small flames lately. In the past, the thing would like be like this. I don't even know. So I know it's got fuel. Anyways, here we go. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, did you hear that? It did it. I don't know what that is. It was like out to here again. If Fab was next to me, she would kick me. She would hit me. But there you go. Thank you so much, Shannon. You're awesome. Love you, guy. This is just a lot of fun. I picked these. I actually have another one of these. I picked them up like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. I find that they're really cool for like when we go live for, let's say if we do a coverage of one of the launches, it's very nice to be able to kind of show, you know, the attitude of the ship, right? Where it sits and how it's coming through the atmosphere and stuff. It's like a prop. But it also has lit a cigar before and a couple other things. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Let me see. Shannon says, with the super chat, thank you, Shannon, says next time grab a can of hairspray and spray it at the same time. Yes. Woo, that would be like the big flamethrower right there. That's what would happen. There's a lot of bananas. I love the bananas. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shannon. Dominic says, what's up? Cheers. Thanks for being here, Dominic. Appreciate you. So, this is what's going on. You'll see it once it's done, but I'm working on a project whereas the JCLive show will be on Fridays as normal, right? We'll be doing the Free Speech Friday just like we're doing right now, right? We'll do the standard live, but I'm going to have a feed on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's going to be run 100% on the Starlink, period. So I'm going to have telemetry up and a bunch of other things. And I'm going to create kind of like a lounge where we can just kind of hang out. And any time of day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you'll be able to go in there talk to your friends, see what's going on. There's going to be a lot of things on the screen that hopefully you guys appreciate, news and a lot of other stuff. And it's just going to be a place that we can kind of listen to some music, vibe out, and geek out, and talk about space, SpaceX, Starlink, all kinds of just cool stuff. And the entire thing is going to be run on this using Linux Mint. So I will probably do a video explaining what I'm doing. Probably not all the how behind it because there's just a lot to it. It's not easy. But that's what I'm working on. It's going to be a 24/7 JC Lounge, Space Lounge. So I'm really excited about it. I got a lot of stuff that's already done, but I have not done the format on this yet and started building it, putting it in there. So hopefully my goal is to have it done by this same time next week. But we'll see. I need to make sure that it works properly and that there's little outages. I was thinking about the idea of running it 100% on Starlink, and I was thinking maybe not, because if we do have some severe weather that rolls through, the feed will go down. Is that a bad thing or is that a good thing? I don't know. Some people want to know exactly like how good is Starlink. And if I show you a mega storm outside and it's still broadcasting, that's pretty cool, right? So what do you guys think? Let me know, right? Let me know. What do you guys think? Because like I said, I have many ISPs now. I can run it so that it will never go down ever. But I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. I'm on the fence. So if I do it so it's 100% Starlink based, that would definitely be kind of neat too, because you'll be able to see it working. And if it ever goes down or gets pixelated, it'll just be real world and you will know what's going on, which is not bad either. Because I'm not one, so my thing on this channel, and a lot of people know it that have been with me for a while, is that I'm not a fanboy. I'm a fan of Elon Musk and all of his crap, right? But I'm not a fanboy to a point that I'm just going to show you only the positives and just brush off the negatives. It's like if there's a negative on Starlink for any reason, I'm going to bring it to your attention, because you need to be aware of all the goods and the bads. That's the only way that you can make decisions, let's say an educated decision, right? So I've always been like that, right? I'm kind of just, I am unbiased with most everything. And I look at everything, including the news and everything else. That's just how I've always been. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Give me some ideas. What do you think? Also, what would you like to see or hear in this lounge? I already have the sounds just about put together, okay? It's going to be very lo-fi, spacey, kind of cool. So I already got that down. But anything that you want to see, let me know, right? I always like to get ideas of like what would just interest you if you came to the lounge and you're hanging out and you're talking to people like we're doing right now. And instead of there being 50 or 100 of you, there's maybe 1,000 of you, or who knows what. You just never know how many people will show up, right? What would you like to see on the screen? What would keep you coming back, right? That kind of stuff. Let me know. Let me know. Once again, if you have a question, at JCristina. That makes it easy. Shannon, with that super chat from earlier, next time grab the hairspray. Got that one. Remember pay for long distance calls. I do remember paying for long distance calls. These telcos, they're just hating life. They're hating life. When VoIP came out, voice over IP, they lost their shit. All of a sudden you can't charge. They just, yeah. Let's see. Don't encourage Shannon. Let me see. Speed Racer, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, any new update on the Starship launch? I've heard a couple of things down the grapevine, but I hate to put them out there until I absolutely know. My understanding is it'll be towards the end of next month or the following. So, it could happen by the end of October, but we will see. I've been getting like multiple reports. Some people are saying the end of October. Some people are saying the beginning of November. So we'll see. I'm going to guess it'll probably happen by the end of October because there wasn't any major issues. You know, we don't have to worry about, Fish and Wildlife or, FAA, or we don't have to worry about regulatory bodies that have to do investigations and investigate their ass on what happened, right? So that being said, what they need to do is to make amends for all of the stuff that was not great on the last launch. Like, seeing some of those heat tiles the way they were was not great. We saw the entire underbelly of it like completely tarnished in copper color, obviously because of the metallic tiles and the plasma pouring off it caused that interaction. They'll probably fix that. They're also going to probably find out which tiles worked, which tiles didn't, and if the actively cooled tiles were actually good or were they not. Also, they're really going to have to work on those flaps in the aft area. You can't have flaps melting. So they need to fix that. Also, we saw that inside the compartment, the engine compartment, we saw that skirt kind of like blow out. That's a freaking problem. There's some issues here and there, but I can tell you one thing. They both landed perfectly. The Super Heavy landed perfectly. The Starship landed, I think they said, within 3 feet. Obviously, if Starship lands within 3 feet, it's not close enough to be able to catch. But they stressed the damn thing. They put it through its paces. They melted it, right? Because they knew they weren't going to recover it. It was going to land in the Indian Ocean. It was going to sink. So they pushed the hell out of it. So in my personal opinion, I think that they can take their Ship 38 and catch it with Mechazilla. They won't do that. Okay, don't think they will. They won't. But I think they could. So I don't know. That's what I think, Speed Racer. We will see. What do you think? When do you think the next Starship launch will be? Let me know in the comments. Day in the life of JCristina. There you go. Love it. There you go. Anyone else? Volume, go up. Is the volume low today or is it not? Let me see. It looks like it's in the yellow. I don't want to go red and start blasting people's ears either. Nice. I appreciate the idea. Thank you so much, George. Sweet. That sounds great. That's from I'm Here. Our football team won 49-6. Congratulations. That's the Bulldogs. Sweet, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Let's see what else we have here. Do it on the fiber. I mean, I could do it on the fiber. I could do it on the fiber and maybe provide SpaceX Starlink telemetry. I could do that too. Because the fiber that I have is like gigabit now, it's like 1,000 up, 1,000 down, whatever, So yeah, I have plenty to be able to do that on there. So I don't know. That's a possibility. The only thing is I kind of like real world, and I like the idea of people knowing that this feed is specifically only run on Starlink, but that definitely puts like the kibosh on the feed if a hurricane came through or some really bad weather or whatever. But it might not be a bad way to kind of test it out and be like, okay, it went down. And it went down because of X, Y, or Z. So I don't know. I like real world stuff. I really do. So I don't know. We could do it either which way. But yeah, thank you for adding that in there. Arnold said, in 1968, I phoned home for about 10 minutes at Christmas. It cost $55 from Vietnam. My God, right? It's just crazy. It was crazy. I know how much phone calls were. JC Space Lounge. Very cool. Yeah, it's going to be, it's tentative. It's tentative going to be the JCLive Space Lounge. So that's the name. And once again, like I said, the entire thing will be run on this bad boy right here. I have to nuke Windows 11 on it, stick Linux Mint on here, and build it. So I'm hoping for end of next week. We will see. If you are a member of the channel, I'm going to put this up live for about 72 hours once it's built, for about 72 hours, and I'm going to leave it only for members. So if you're a member, you'll be able to test it out, check it out, and I'll be in there off and on, like kind of all day, just having fun. And that's like the idea, at least, before we go live where it's out to the public. So if you are, once again, a member of the channel, you'll be able to kind of hang out with me during the testing of this JCLive Space Lounge. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. It's something new, you know. So yeah, I love building stuff, you know, like the Raspberry Pi. I was literally going to build this thing on a Raspberry Pi, guys. I was going to do it, and you know, I was doing a lot of the math because that's what I do, math, and the numbers just weren't working out. Even if I got, this is the Raspberry Pi 4, even if I got the 5, it just didn't have enough ass behind it to be able to handle the 4K feed and then all of the sub feeds that I need to scrape the information that I need to give to you guys. So it just, the numbers didn't work out. So we want the mini PC, which is kind of crazy anyways. Maybe I'll take it, like run like LED, like pull this thing off. I don't know. What does this thing even look like? Let's see. Can I like open this thing up? I'd love to see what's inside. Like, is it like pretty, is it like a lot of good stuff in here? What do they have? Oh, they got a sticker on there. Well, that's not good. Let me see here. No? No? Maybe? Yes? No? Whatever. I don't know. I was going to try opening it for you guys to take a look. I'll have to probably pull that sticker off, but whatever. So let me see what else is in here. Once again, at JCristina. Hello, operator. I'd like to place a long distance call. I remember that, Mark. Remember doing that? Hitting 0? And making a long distance call? Sweet. Yes, discourse. Renee says, my kids put Mint on Lenovo Thing client. I think they loaded Stream and Play and gave, yeah, it's not a problem. That's one thing. Linux has such low overhead compared to Windows. It's like a no-brainer. It's very easy. Ambient music, lo-fi, absolutely, Mo. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lo-fi type of feel to it. Loungy lo-fi feel, but with a space twist to it, right? That's the idea, at least. I can hear it, but can I actually make it? That's the question. That is the question. John K. Wolf is in the house. Thank you for being here, John. He can do that, but he can't get restroom done. Can you imagine that? That's true, John. John, you're right. You're right. Actually, no, we're pretty much close to done. I'm doing shelving now in the closet area. So the tub is done. The walls are done. All of the tile is done. All of the blocks, you know, all of the brick is done. The shower works, the toilet is new, the vanities are in, and the water is on both vanities that are in there. There's really not much left. There's a little bit of painting still left, a little bit of spackle here and there, and lighting is pretty much good. We need to put like a couple lights in, hang a couple of mirrors, and do the shelving, which is the next big project in the closet. Because right now it's just an empty closet, and I'm going to put custom shelving in there because, you know, whenever you buy a house, they give you the most garbage crap that you can think of that they get for like 2 cents from Home Depot. That's what they stick in there. All that metal racking bullshit that you stick in there and stuff is like falling, you know. So we're doing like real wood, burnt, stained, you know, like nice. So yeah, that's like the next project that it shouldn't take me too long because I've already done it in a couple of areas in the house. So William says, JCristina, have you heard the crybabies at Space I don't even, where is it? Okay, crying about the rocket launch. Gee, it has been there for 150 for 1950, and the new buttercups are saying it should be moved. You know what, William? This has been the thing. This is like normal commentary these days. I feel like there's a lot of crybabies out there. You know, people that are trying to figure out if they're male or female. I mean, I think there's just a lot of people out there have just lost their way. That being said, William, I think that a lot of this has been done to us because I wouldn't doubt that your grandfather's mother has more testosterone than you do. And I'm not even kidding about that. I've talked to so many friends of mine, and like everyone is low T today. Like all the men have very, very, very low testosterone, and the doctors can't understand why. You know, I don't want to be like conspiracy theory guy, but I can tell you if the majority of men have low testosterone, literally half or a third of what the testosterone of a man in the 50s, 60s, 70s used to be, what happened? And it's not like if it's like a group of guys here and that's it. Like, you know, you say it's some kind of industrial thing or maybe an eco thing or, you know, something with the land. No, we're talking about like on average, today's man literally has less testosterone than like yesterday's grandmother. I mean, it's just like, it's literally that bad. Anyways, that's for a whole nother discussion. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Let me see. Watching the live feed on ISS, of the ISS. Oh, very cool. I love the ISS. I love the ISS. Shannon, thank you for the super chat. Says build another one of your little super routers and just make the Starlink primary and then use the program skills, use your program skills to display the screen, which feed is that. Yeah, I can do that. I can definitely do that. I can feed the box using all three. I could do that. And then maybe feed this with 2 networks instead of 1. And then if I want to pull a Starlink only pull, I could do that. You know, to get like a speed test like I just did. I could do something like that. I don't know. I like that idea. And then at least the feed wouldn't go down, right? I mean, either way, I can pull the telemetry from my Starlink, right? And do some like hardcore testing on it, like beat the hell out of it. Because it's sitting there. And like I said, I got 3 ISPs now. So, you know, I have backup and redundancy. So it's definitely something we can do. Do you know which antennas are going to be the gigabit capable with Starlink? That's from Michael. I have a feeling that they're all going to be able to get close to a gigabit, but they probably will have another kit that comes out that's more specific to the gigabit that is going to dial in certain things. So I just don't know if we're going to see a gigabit speed with our current dish setup. It might get close because I can tell you there's people that I know that are getting 400, 500 megabits down with the current setup. So it's possible to get half a gig already. So can they get a full gig? I don't know. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes and see what they're going to do. They're doing a lot of like shape shifting, right? They're doing a lot of beam forming, dialing those beams in. And Shannon could attest to that because, you know, we put a Starlink Mini on a balcony with literally concrete above and then angled it, not out away from the concrete, which worked fine, but angled it this way. So it's literally angled into the condo, into the concrete above it. And it still was able to get signal like this, coming in this direction, and was still able to get a satellite, which is sick because I can tell you for sure that would not be the case a year ago or even 6 months ago. It would just say obstructed, you're screwed, and that's it. Done. Let me go over, let me go to SpaceX's See what's going on over there at SpaceX's X page. There we go. All right. What is this? Could not be displayed. Reload. What is that? That's the one thing. I don't know why they do this. You see this, guys? Why do they do that? Watch Starship's 10th flight, right? But then if you want to watch and you click on it, it says reload. And then you go and click on it again. Oh, no, reload. The speed you can't be fine. It's almost like they don't leave it up for you to be able to watch it. I wonder what happens when we click here. Does it actually do anything? There's the Starship 10th flight. Okay, that's fine. All right. There's all the call outs. Let's go to watch. Okay, let's go hit and play. Did that work? Is this going to work?
Central Time.
Holy
Our
hell, it did work.
liftoff. Prop load is
All right.
underway. We are looking better on the weather
let me turn
this
this
time,
volume
good on
down.
the range, and we are
Wow.
targeting the
Okay.
very beginning of our window
I
at
didn't
6:30
realize that.
p.m.
All right,
Central
let me turn
Time.
them down.
Our objective.
There you go. I'm gonna turn them way back. I'll just let that sit there for a minute. Let me see. What is it? T minus 45 minutes. We'll just leave that. Let it sit there for a minute. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that that is even a thing. Can we make it big? Oh no. No. It gets mad. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, we'll leave it. Anyways, back to the discussion. Let me go back into here. Welsh says, we already read that one. Watch a live feed for the ISI. Okay. Thought on the, okay. The rustification, yes, of Ubuntu. This is Low Tech Greg and its effect on Mint. I'm going to load Mint DE on a stick and check it out. Yeah, I absolutely love Mint. Definitely check it out. So Mint is basically Ubuntu, pretty damn close, but it's like the test bed for Mint, or for Ubuntu. So if you want like the latest and greatest drivers and you want to be a beta tester, then download Mint. If you want something more solid, but it doesn't get updated as often, then go with Ubuntu. Either which way. Let's see. Ellie is here. Thank you for being here, Ellie. QQQ. I'm late. This is from Sky Beetle 65. Nothing in the chat. I heard the word lounge. Yes. We're going to be making a lounge with this. So stay tuned. And if you are a member, you're going to be able to check out the lounge about 72 hours, maybe even longer, before it actually goes live. And test things out and give me your feedback. Michael says, JCristina, which gen antenna are going to be the gigabit? I already answered that. Let's see, you need to do more than SpaceX. There's a lot more better space companies that have done more, even gone to the moon many times. This is from John Wolfe, yes. I guess the next one to go to the moon will probably be SpaceX if the Chinese don't beat us to it, but we will see. We need stronger, durable flaps. We do, absolutely. Gallagher says, Throttable Weird, people still want a live of you hanging out with the chickens. I remember that. We were talking about that, doing a live with the chickens. Oh, God, man, that has to be done like in the winter months because God, all of the bugs are just nuts. All of the flying stuff just make me crazy. Our graves are close. We're waiting to see these creatures. Yes. Arnold Smith says, I had a long-distance girlfriend. Cost a lot to stay in contact with via the phone. Yes. 10-minute calls, $150 for voice talk. It's crazy. Joke. Cram, thank you for being here, Joe. Thanks for the membership. Whoever did that. Yes, Shannon. Say thank you to Shannon, Joe. 5x5 volume is fine. Good, George. Thank you. Moving down here. Shannon with his super chat. We got that. Back in 1968, the home phone was a crank phone. A crank phone number was 11 R21 circuit or 11.2 long and short ring. Bring, 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 bring. Remember blue boxes? I don't know if anyone is a hacker like I was, but building black boxes and blue boxes and making operator tones. Yeah, 800 hertz, 700 hertz, combined 500 hertz. We won't talk about that, right? You sound bad, John said. Okay, I'm sounding bad. Why am I sounding bad? I don't know why that is. The volume looks good according to what it shows here. I don't know why. Let's see. We're on party line. I remember the party lines. Remember the party lines? Robot Andy, thank you for being here. Androids don't eat apples. Jeffrey, thank you for being here. Jeffrey says, made backup of everything. Make backups of everything. Yes, JCristina, bathroom progress. Good progress. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. Try Windows first and see how it works. Yeah, I'm just, John, I killed Windows like a year ago from my machine, and I started running Linux. My Windows is still here, guys. I used to show it to you a lot more than I do now. It's dusty. Yeah, there's Windows. I haven't booted into it for like 11, I think it's over a year now. I'm gonna have to look that up. I should do like an update. I need to do an update. But yeah, it's been like, it's sitting here. I do need to install this so I can do the update before EOL, the end of life, where they don't do updates anymore on this. So I think I'm going to do that. I keep saying it. I don't even feel like putting this Windows shit into the computer. I just don't. But I'm going to have to. But yeah, I'm not a fan. But yeah, with this one, this does have Windows 11 that comes on it. But yeah, I'm not going to back it up and save it or anything. I'm just going to format it, get rid of it, because honestly, I'm just not a fan. And for a server that's running 24/7, 365 days a year, Windows ain't it, guys. You need Linux. You don't have to worry about it going down as much. It doesn't have to be constantly updated or whatever. So, I mean, is there servers that you can build on Windows? Yes, you can. It's just not easy. Shannon, he could make the T-Mobile and Starlink. It'd be the test of, yes, could do that. That's William, 25 years of wind blows. Yes, 25 years of wind blows. No Windows for me anymore. Micro PC versus my Mini. Yeah. Mac Mini. Yeah, we could, honestly, the Mac Mini just doesn't have enough ass to do what I need it to do. We were experiencing problems during the last live flight of SpaceX Starship, and we were using a MacBook Pro. I think it's an M1, and it had a hard time. It was like going in and out. It had a feed problem. It was not able to do it. And I remember I was telling, and luckily that day that we were having that problem, they ended up canceling it. And the next day I told Shannon, I said, listen, I'm going to stay up all night and I'm going to rebuild the Linux. I'm going to make sure I can get it to work. And what you're seeing right now is Linux. And I don't use the Apple anymore. Not that the Apple isn't good, because it is, but they just don't have enough ass behind them for doing what I need to do. Like have multiple things going. We got this feed going on over here with SpaceX, and then I'll have another feed pulling in data over here, another feed pulling data there, maybe a weather report, and all this stuff. That takes a lot of processing, and the PC just, simply does it with Linux on it very easily. Boo ba boo, but I need my regular fix of Uncle Ted. That's Low Tech Greg. What are you doing, Low Tech Greg? June 20th, 1969. Yes. So you were in your mom's belly. No, I was born in September. So yeah, I was still just like hanging out, jiggling around, I guess, kicking maybe. I don't know, but yes. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. George Arnold Smith, that was to Arnold. Let me see, moving down. Thank you, Shannon, for another 20 gifted memberships, guys. Shannon, you're supposed to go to sleep. What are you still doing here? You predicted 90 minutes. How many minutes has it been? It has been 70 minutes. So for me to make sure that your prediction's right, I got to be on for another 20 minutes. Let me see. Free Speech Friday. Yes, George. Yes, I think it's due to, yes. Let me see. 3 ISPs. Whoa. Yeah, I have 3 ISPs. I'm anal retentive. I don't know. That's the way I am. Which I have manual changes. Yes, I have fiber. Yep. We have fiber. We have SpaceX Starlink. We have T-Mobile. T-Mobile. T-Mobile's really good, guys. For $50 a month. And actually, when you have a T-Mobile regular phone with them, I think you get it for like $35 a month, unlimited internet. What company does that? I don't know of one. Maybe someone else does. I don't know of one. Let me see. Kapow. Boom. Once again, if you have a question, put at JCristina. At JCristina. John says Elon just said he's going to try to put the new satellite next time. Really? I didn't hear that, John. But if that's what he said, that's what he said. I don't think he's going to do it. So it probably won't happen until the end. It probably won't happen until next year. But if it happens next time with Ship 38, I'll be floored. I think it would be great. I'd be very happy, actually. That would be awesome. Awesome. Jeffrey, let's see, says, how long is Starlink's development? How long a Starlink development it's activated until it becomes active to our dishes? Oh, deployment. How long? Okay, so how long for? Okay, I guess I'm getting it. So, I guess what you're saying is, once a satellite is launched, right? How long after the deployment of the satellite will it be turned on so that we can use it? It depends on where it needs to be in orbit, okay? And how long it takes to get to that orbital location, the altitude and its location. So some SpaceX Starlinks that get launched, they're turned on within a couple of weeks. Others take a month or even longer to get to those specific positions where they need to hang out, so to speak. So operational altitude is on these new version 3s. They're going to be 320, 330, 340 kilometers. Current SpaceX Starlinks are sitting at about 520 to 550 kilometers, so about 200 kilometers closer to Earth, which is cool because what that means is we're going to get faster speeds. We're going to get lower latency. And the units themselves are sitting at 15 to 20 times the capacity. Did you get that? 15 to 20 times the capacity. Even if we use 10 times the capacity just for a base number, which is actually low, that means that every single, let's say 100, okay, of these SpaceX version 3 satellites that get launched, every 100 of them would be the equivalent to 1,000 of the version 1.0s or the 2.0 minis. 1,000, 10 times. It's actually like 15 or even 20. So let's say anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 just to launch those 100. And 100 goes pretty quick because I think they're going to be launching anywhere from 50 to 60, 70 Starlinks, these big ass ones, every single launch. So the amount of connectivity, the amount of bandwidth, the amount of availability is going to just exponentiate once those things start getting launched up there, those version 3s. So I'm excited to see it, for sure. Let me see. Any questions, put at JCristina, at JCristina. Hacking, got any old issues of a 2600? Yes, my Bolton board was featured in 2600 multiple times. It was called the Twilight Zone. If you have any old issues and you find a website, or not a website, a BBS, that was my BBS. So anyways, yeah. But yeah, I used to love 2600. Used to do a lot of stuff with 2600. If you guys don't know, it has to do with like baud rate, like it's an old magazine that talked a lot about internet and hacking and networks and Ma Bell at the time, this kind of stuff. So, You know, you'd find schematics for a lot of cool stuff in there, robotics, building alarm systems, all kinds of just cool stuff. It was a geeky magazine. Sadly, there's not a lot of like cool magazines anymore, right? They kind of went away. I don't know. Everything is online now. I don't know. There's something about the smell of a book, right? Turning the pages, right? We just don't get that today. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. Geeky gardens. I like that. I have Windows 7 and VM. Yeah, in a VM. Yeah, to build a nice virtual machine with Windows, that's great. As long as you're not doing anything that does direct calls to any hardware, especially like GPUs and shit that you really need that direct connect, they work out fine. There's many different virtual machines that you can use, obviously, but haven't opened it in a couple years. Yeah, it's, if you don't need it, then it kind of just collects dust, right? Let's see. Here's one. George says, I remember getting my first electric typewriter a couple years before my first Apple Plus. Yeah. I used to do a lot of programming on the Apple II Plus, the Apple IIe. That was when I first started cutting my teeth in writing assembly code. So yeah, because I used to program EPROMs back in the day. I mean, it's like a different life. It's kind of crazy. The Russian sub watches in other corners. Life allowed only Florida, yes. Mo, let's see, moving down. If you have a question, once again, put at JCristina. At JCristina. Any kind of questions. Let me see what's going on. So this is the launch here. Let's go ahead and see what goes on here. Let's launch this damn thing, right? While we're sitting here. Let me see. What are we at? Oh, did I pass it up? Oh, here. Oh, I love this. Oh, here's the chiclets, as I call them. The Pez dispenser. Let me see. Let me see. Here we go. There it is. What are we on here? Oh, this is 37 minutes into it. That's after the launch. What are we doing here? Yeah, this was a really good launch. I really enjoyed this. This launch was a really good launch, and they ended up pulling through, which really was nice. So here we go. Let's watch this thing. Let's watch this thing go real quick.
30 seconds, the 10th liftoff of Starship.
Can we hear it? There you go. T minus 20 seconds. Why does it say copy added? What the hell?
T minus 15.
15 seconds.
T minus 10. 9. 8.
This does not get
6.
old.
5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
Look at that. What the heck? That to me is just sick.
We have liftoff.
It just doesn't get old.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
That does not get old. That never gets old, guys. That never gets old. Just to look at that is just amazing to me. So literally, you're launching a building.
Your chamber pressure nominal.
You're launching a building, guys. Kind of crazy. Anyways, I'm going to turn the volume off. As you can see, the telemetry here, all of the engines are on, and then one of the outer engines will go out.
A little over 40 seconds into
Which isn't too bad because there's 33 of them, and one goes out.
Power
as well.
telemetry nominal.
All right, I'm going to back off that volume. You guys can leave. I'll leave it so you guys can watch it on the screen. So anyways, let me go in here. If you have a question, once again, at JCristina. At JCristina. Joe said, I ran a BBS called let me see, Sinner's Chat. Cool, I like it. from 1989 to 96 in Silicon Valley. Started as a STS chat with 1200 baud. I remember that. I ended up starting, my original setup was 8, I think. We started out with 300 baud modems, at the very beginning. We moved into 1200s, and finally 2400, 2600 baud, and we ended up with like the 28/8s, and we pretty much kind of petered off after that. One of my buddies used to run one of the largest matchmaking sites down here in South Florida when I was running the Twilight Zone. It was called Dial Your Match. Dial Your Match. It's kind of weird to say, but that's how it all started, right? It's just crazy. It is crazy. But, you know, where we've come. Yes, Byte Magazine. I love that, John Wolf. Remember Byte Magazine? All these magazines, they all just went belly up. They just couldn't do it. I don't know. It's just sad. It is just sad. But yeah, I used to love the BBSs. If Elon decides to build his own Starlink OS for commercial use to beat Windows or Mac, I recommend he should work with the frameworks to build a modular Linux PC. So if you know it, Mo, Elon Musk, like for example, the Tesla cars, they're all running very highly customized Linux on all of them. So that's why he said that he would probably be the first person or the easiest, let's say, for them to be able to make a phone, because they would just use the Tesla coding for the phone. Because once again, they have very highly secure code that is a base. It's based on Linux that's running Tesla stuff. So they could definitely use that. And if he wanted to put out an operating system, that would be very easy too, because he has his own, right? They don't talk about it very much, but yeah, that's what's running those cars. Yeah, guys. Let's see. You're bringing Radio Shack to mind. Yes, remember that? Talking about the rags and the schematics and the baud rates. Yes. Remember Radio Shack? All of those like robotics and stuff back in the day. Man, used to build so much stuff, little ICs and a lot of soldering. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I don't think kids have fun like that anymore. I don't know. Sitting on your phone, looking at Instagram or looking at like Snapchat shit, and you're like doing this. Like in a state of freaking stupor. And they're drooling. Like, I don't know. You know, we were using oscilloscopes and checking out ICs and checking to see if things are actually going through and which direction, you know, power was going and how many volts you're getting in here, there, or elsewhere, or, you know, is there continuity between here, or do I have a break in the line or whatever? I don't know. Kids don't do none of this shit anymore. They're just like, I'm telling you, it's just like, the way I look at it, I just feel like the kids just do stuff that's so mind numbing that I don't know how we're as a society going to create Einsteins again, or people that are of higher, let's say, thought processes. I mean, I just don't know how we're going to create these people, because we're creating kids that are just basically learning how to take tests. They don't even teach them how to learn anymore. No one knows how to learn. Learn to learn. They don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. It's bad. It is bad. It is absolutely bad. I love every time they launch, and this is from, let's see, Rodriguez, I think it is. I love every time they launch. It can be from here in Puerto Rico after about 11 minutes when it passes. Yeah, it does pass over Puerto Rico, right around Puerto Rico. I think it goes just north of you, right? When you see it, I think, isn't it north? I think it comes between the Strait of, I think, Florida and Cuba, and it goes over. I think you should be seeing it out the north. Yeah, I think northeast is when it's coming over. But yeah, Puerto Rico is definitely a good place to see what's going on when it comes to the Starship flying overhead. Bill Z, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, been a fan since I got my number 2. in nice in let me see, in 22 actually. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much for that. Billy Z, I really appreciate you. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate your support and you being here. And it makes me happy that you get value in the channel and what I do. That it means a lot to me because I know that, you know, I'm not just talking to myself. I'm actually talking to people and hopefully changing some people's lives like SpaceX Starlink did for my family's lives. So it's been a really big thing being able to have. I mean, now we have fiber, but I say this all the time. If it wasn't for Elon Musk and SpaceX Starlink, I would not have fiber today, nor would a lot of people, because all of these telcos have been just screwing us for so many years. And even though they've been getting subsidies from the government, billions and billions and billions, they've done nothing that they were supposed to do, and that is roll out fiber to the rural areas, right? They didn't do it. And if it wasn't for SpaceX and Starlink, they would still not have done it. So I can guarantee you, even though I have fiber now, but I also have SpaceX Starlink and T-Mobile and the rest of the ISPs that we have available now here, if it wasn't for Elon and his service, I would never have fiber. Never, never, never. They would just keep on taking the subsidies and never do nothing. That's just how it is. That's how the telcos work. So they needed a little bit of fire underneath their feet to get it done, and Elon was the person to do it. And I truly appreciate that. And that's why over this time, I've never gotten a penny from Elon Musk or from SpaceX, Starlink, for anything. But the only thing that I do have now is affiliate links. So if people go to jcristina.com/Starlink and they purchase a kit, they end up getting a month free, and I get a month free. So I was looking on my account like the other day, and I have like all of these months like built up for people like get their month free, and then of course I get a month free. So I got like, I don't even know how many months, but I got them like all piled up in there. And I appreciate that from you guys that you guys do that. But like I said, I've never got a penny from these people. Obviously I don't have to pay for the service because, you know, people are actually using the code. But either which way, you know, I do appreciate it. And it's like a symbiotic type of relationship. It's a win-win. They get a month free and so do I. So it's kind of cool. Did the launch pad survive? Yes, it did. Launch pad was fine. On this round, everything was fine. Okay. So it was a really good test. And there was a lot of good information that was gleamed, let's say, after this thing ended up landing, because there was a ton of information that they got. So it was kind of cool. Geeky Garden says, I got paid to program for about 40 years. Now I just do it for fun. Nice. On a TS1000. I remember Trash 80. Remember the Trash 80? On a TS1000 and a C64. You know, I personally like the C64 as well as the VIC. Remember the VIC? So you had the Commodore VIC-20 and the Commodore 64, which I thought were a lot of fun. Everything was all floppies and tape drives. Remember the tape drives? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed it, and you know, I would never, like, I'm glad that I was able to come up in that era in comparison to now, where everything is kind of like given to you. It was harder to do, and it was enjoyable to learn. Let's see. Moving down here, I got a 300 baud card if anyone needs it. That's Geeky Gardens. Yeah, I remember. You remember the what was it? U.S. Robotics, guys. U.S. Robotics. Man, they had the cards, right? They had the cards. Expensive too. Look for Space Traveler by Groove Ant and other early 80s, 90s, 2/4, 8/16 track vinyl spacey songs. Interesting. Apple, Spotify. Let's see, YouTube. Elon heard this, and a few others said he dug it. Really? That's from CG Pro. The only thing is like when I put together this JCLive Space Lounge that I'm building on this, music is so monitored that if I put anything in there that's not either licensed to me or 100% free, they will just take down the channel. They'll demonetize the channel. They'll do all kinds of crazy ass shit. That's just how it works. They will listen through tracks. Like I can have this Starship blasting off and there's like a ton of noise and then play like a little rhythm of some track from some singer somewhere and it'll find it. It'll be like, oh, in 29 minutes 30 seconds through 29 minutes 40 seconds you played a track so and so. Now you're demonetized or half of your revenue goes to them. Literally, that's the kind of shit that we get from YouTube. That's how it works. Just for an example, during this launch, when I covered this launch that you're seeing here, I just threw it in there just to leave it, just so you can watch it. When I covered that, they broke away, okay, for a set period of time, and they played some trash elevator music. They demonetized it. The entire 4 hours that I was live, they demonetized it. I had to go in and then delete the portion where that elevator shit-ass music was being played for the entire 4 hours to then be monetized again. That's how crazy it is. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool. This is to SG Pro, that if I can, do like the Space Traveler groove thing or whatever and be able to do, use stuff like that. But I'm really being very adamant about only choosing tracks that I can play live that is not going to demonetize anything. Because their DRM stuff is just sick. Their digital rights management is just off the chain. They can literally take you down within 30 seconds. Everything that I'm saying right now is being is currently being transcribed, and then the words that I'm speaking, the transcription is then also being gone through using AI to make sure that I'm not saying anything bad, offensive, whatever that even is supposed to mean. And to who? Who the hell knows? So trust me, it's very, very, anyway, so that's one of the dilemmas when we pick music. And what's going to be played. But thank you for that. If you guys, once again, if you have any ideas or what you would like to see on the lounge or in the lounge, let me know in the chat window. Right? I love to hear. I've gotten people that I've put this out to like a week ago or two ago when I was doing the conceptual work on this, and some people said they want to see telemetry. From SpaceX Starlink, they want to see uptimes, they want to see speeds, they want to also see launch data, like when is going to be the next launch and this type of thing. Weather reports, they want to know what's going on with space in general. So that could be any launch, that could be even a Chinese launch or whatever. Some people want just regular news, any kind of hot news bites that are going through that's in the tech industry that could have to do with space, SpaceX, Starlink, Linux, whatever, AI stuff, whatever. So I've been getting a lot of people, feedback. So if there's something specific, let me know. And I will take notes and I will write it down. And if it's something that I can get to be pushed in there, I will do it. So anyways, once again, that lounge will be live for members only for a good 72 hours to maybe even a week to make sure that it's working properly before it actually goes live to everyone. Look at that mist. It looks like Ghost in the Machine, right? Look at that mist. Is that the coolest shit? So all that mist is the vapor that is inside that capsule. When you will see when they depressurize it. See, the problem the last time, they couldn't open up the door because it was fully pressurized, and then they finally learned, hey, shit, we need to depressurize it first and then open the bay door. So all of this mist that you see, if you keep watching it, I'm not going to keep watching it, but just you guys keep watching it, all of a sudden you're going to see it go, and it's going to be gone. It's going to be crystal clear. And then on the right-hand side towards the bottom, you're going to see the bay door open. They figured it out. There was just simply too much pressure, and that's why they couldn't get that door open of this Pez dispenser the last time. So keep watching. You'll see it just get sucked out. Next, let's see. Low Tech Greg says, truly headed for a Irocracy. Yeah. Hypocrisy. For me, Low Tech Greg, I just love how things have been going lately. And it kind of is comical to me, just watching like what goes on. Things are just very odd. And yeah. Oh, did it clear up? Look on your screen, guys. Look on your screen. Remember, right on the like mid-screen bottom on the right-hand side. No, there's still some mist there, so it's not going to open just yet. Keep watching. You'll see the mist disappear. Joe, go get some vapor rub and some rest. Yeah. I've just been so congested lately. And you know what it is? I don't think that I'm sick. I think it's all of the pollen. In South Florida, it's horrible. There's just a ton of ragweed and all kinds of stuff. Oh, do we see the little dust going on there? You'll see it just turn completely clear, and then that door will start opening. Let's see. Gallagher says, questionable. What will you do for your birthday tomorrow? Will the chickens wear ties? I think they should. Bow ties. All the chickens with bow ties. I don't know. I just want to spend time with the family. That's all. I'm not like a birthday guy. I really don't care. My wife cares. I don't really care. So, let's see. Moving down in here. U.S. Robotics came later. Yes, 1,200 baud, 2,400 baud. Were fast. Yes. Then they did the 14.4s. You remember the 14.4s? And they went to 28.8s. Holy hell. Nicholas, how you doing, Nicholas? Says, here in Argentina, the adoption of Starlink is massive. Much like in the U.S., we have large space of nothing and fiber is not available. Yes, that's exactly right. Cheaper at 38 US. Yeah. So, Nicholas, I'm glad that SpaceX Starlink is working for you guys. When you have great expanses of areas where there's no cell towers and there's no fiber, there's no nothing, SpaceX Starlink is the only thing. There's nothing else. You can't even say like Viasat or HughesNet. They're both garbage, right? They're garbage. So Gallagher said that would be rad. Here, C64 OS based on Linux. They bought the C64 rights. Interesting. I didn't even know. Huh. Let's see here. Yeah, I was on the Y2K task force. You remember the Y2K bullshit? Oh my God. They made such a story with the Y2K stuff. It was just, my God. Man, yeah, I remember the Y2K stuff. Let's see, moving down. Well, I wanted all, but we can take it again. Yes, low tech red. So let me see. 37. I got 3 minutes. To prove. 3 minutes to prove Shannon right that I'm going to go for 90 minutes. I think so, right? 30, 60, 40. No, I think I already hit it. Did I hit it? Yeah, I think I'm going to be hitting. Yeah, I think I hit it already. Anyways, last questions. Throw some questions in there, and then I'm going to call it. But remember, I'm going to enjoy the birthday tomorrow. Relax with the kids. That's going to be a lot of fun for me. And I'm going to start building this starting next week. I don't know if I'm going to video it or maybe I'll just take some pictures. Maybe I'll just talk about it. Maybe I'll do a video talking about it when I actually release this, JCLive Space Lounge. So I'm just stoked about it. I'm really excited about it. And it's going to be a place that we can kind of just all hang out. And for example, if you want to talk to someone that's in the chat, I mean, right now we only have like 40, 50 people here tonight, whatever, 60 people, whatever. Very, very small, few people tonight, which is fine. But, sometimes we'll have 100. Sometimes we'll have more. On the launch, we had like 700, 800 people or something. We can have a lot of people. So thank you for all of those little presents blown up down there. But yeah, so, but at that point, you'll be able to come in 24 hours a day, anytime, Be like, yeah, meet me over in the lounge at like 9 a.m. We'll just kind of shoot it. And you can go in there and just hang out and talk about whatever you want to talk about. So it's basically something that I wanted to do for a long time where we can all kind of like hang out. I have a Discord. If you guys don't know about it, if you go to community.jcristina.com, community.jcristina.com, there's a Discord server specific for the channel. Really don't do too much with it. There's a lot of people that are on there that still use it every single day, but I haven't been doing a lot with it as of late. But who knows? It might be something that we'll get back into and do more of the Discord if it's something that people want. But doing this live thing, I just think it'd be fun to do, and also a means to test the Starlink. And that's one of the reasons why I was really wanting to only use Starlink for it, so that if shit goes down, it goes down, and be like, hey, it went down because Starlink went down. Sorry. But that's not cool either. So I don't know. We'll see how it's going to all go down, but I'll let you know. Anyways, guys, I want to say thank you to everyone that has sent in a super chat. I want to say thank you to Shannon, of course, for all of those free memberships that were put out there. Really do appreciate it. Get some rest, Shannon, if you're still there. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to take, I think, a Allegra D or something, because I'm like all jacked up from the pollen and stuff. But anyways, many blessings, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the family. And I'll be back on Monday, as always, and probably do a piece on this project and talk a little bit more about it. But if not, if you are a member, you'll be able to get online with me once it does go into that private mode where it's members only for that 72 hours or so. So anyways, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys. Head over to the website, JCristina.com. Go to shop. See if there's some merch you like. If there is, pick it up. I would appreciate that too. That'd be awesome. Help support me. Anyways, you have a great one. Have a great weekend. TGIF. Many blessings. See you soon. Take care, guys.